welcome to the Draft Stack. I'm here with Jordan. What's going on, man?
Not much. I'm excited to do this.
You and me both. For those who can see the title, or if you haven't seen the title, we are mock drafting. Yeah,
Woo!
early.
First one of the year.
I'm sure that we're gonna have people disagree with some of what we say on this list, but it's a mock draft.
Yeah, it's also the first one of the year. Like things are going to change, But it's time. This is a good way for us to get a hit, a bunch of different guys, and so I'm excited.
I fully agree. So you know what? Let's run it, man. We're going to spend a lot of time on the top three throughout the year, so let's get those guys out the way early on.
Mm-hmm. I think we should also point out I just went to Tankathon and I didn't even simulate. I just went to Tankathon, laid out the order, so if the draft, like if there wasn't a lottery, and so if nothing changed, and so that's what we're going with. So that was obviously before any games were played today, so hopefully it should all be up to date.
Let's see here. All right, so top three is what you think it is, and
so you're with Atlanta via New Orleans.
Anyway,
yeah. So any New Orleans fans, don't listen to that first part. Sorry.
If I am picking for Atlanta at number one, I could see a world where they still go AJ DeBesta. I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
However, I immediately see them addressing a very interesting issue by adding Darian Peterson.
Yes.
I'll go with Darian.
So so you're saying pivot off of Trey?
Yeah, I can see it. I can fully see it. This is not an indictment on Trae Young. I just think that the way that they're playing right now, adding another athlete with size who plays both sides of the ball, can score, get his own shot, and plays with the kind of maturity that he plays with, could absolutely see them going number one with him.
Yeah.
So that's
there's also, there is a fit for Cam there too. But
I agree.
I do think the idea of moving off of Trey and just accepting it and being like, okay, look, we're gonna go forward without Trey. I think at this point you can just say that we're moving into the new era, and I think Peterson is the good excuse to get out of Trey. Not that I necessarily think Trey's a bad player or anything, but I think that the relationship is starting to wear its welcome on both sides, and so this is a kind of a face-saving way to do that. So I would also probably do Peterson as well. So is that where you're going with?
I'm going with Peterson.
Okay, so let me update our mock draft. So Peterson. Okay. And so then it's Washington. And so I am of the opinion that it's actually a big two, and then you go to Debanza as third in his own tier, in his own tier. That being said, also fit-wise, I really love the idea of Boozer in between Keontae George and Alex Sarr. I think that they all three really fit well together and do a lot of fun things off of each other really well. Sarr doesn't really like banging down low, and Boozer can bang down low for him. But also Sarr's length covers up the fear of you need a rim protector next to Boozer. Also, I think that both of them being able to shoot is really nice. Anyway, it's just to me, Washington has the other guys. They don't have the guy. Cam is the guy. So I think I'm going to go with Cameron Boozer. That seems pretty fair to me. So with the number 2 overall pick, the Washington Wizards select Cameron Boozer, 6'9", big from Duke.
I agree with that. I'm actually fully in agreement with that pick. Just because it gives him a front court partner that's
Mhm.
younger. And again, there are no wrong answers with these three guys.
Yeah.
Which leads me
Which
to
probably makes Indiana's pick super easy.
and it is my most fun pick, considering all that's happened to them this season so far.
Yes.
Them adding AJ, I think this is an easy answer.
Yes.
Them adding AJ DeBesta with some of the athletes that they have, moving to kind of what they want from the system they're running, shot making, tough shot making, shot creating, and then in tow having Halliburton back next season, healthy and ready. We're hoping.
Also, just like kind of, I mean, we're looking at a team. They really do need a center.
Yes.
This is not your center. This is not there's not a center at this point in the class.
And I'm going to pause.
Best player available.
Best player available. This is who they could now. I was not trying to hot take, but I think I'm going to say I would not be surprised if now I don't know that this is real. If Caleb is as good as he has been the entire season, I could possibly, not saying it's a true thing or anything definite, I could possibly see Indiana picking Caleb Wilson at 3. I could see.
So we'll talk about that in this, because spoiler, Caleb's going to be next. But I do think it's fair to talk about how good of a fit AJ would be.
Yes.
For Indiana. We're looking at, so he's not going to fill that center hole. They're going to have to fill that center hole through free agency or a trade. But his shooting next to Pascal and getting easy shots from Nembhard and from Halliburton is going to fit excellent.
Oh, yeah.
He's giving them, the problem with Halliburton is he doesn't put pressure on the rim. That's his kind of his one offensive weakness is he doesn't put enough pressure on the rim.
Yeah.
AJ's going to do that. AJ's also, I think he's an underrated passer for what he is. I'm not saying he's like a point guard or even a point forward, but I do think that he's actually, decent in passing. Right. Rick Carlisle is going to love that in Indiana. He, I think, has a lot of defensive potential that he's not lived up to. Rick Carlisle is going to make you defend. And there's going to be some give and take there. But I do think that Rick Carlisle is a very good coach for him. He's a very unique offensive coach. He's going to Indiana fits all of AJ's offensive strengths so well.
Yes.
The defense, he is not a defensive sieve. He's not a bad defender. He has length. He actually has the tools to be an elite defender if he wants to. It's the getting him to the want to part. That's the hard part. And if in a Rick Carlisle system, his offense is going to be so easy, I think it's going to be you're going to be able to convince him to give more effort on defense.
I agree with that.
So I actually think that him sliding into that small forward spot is going to be excellent.
I agree.
I really think that's a good fit.
And here's the thing. Their system is not predicated on random, not random athleticism, but the ability to use it efficiently. And because of how athletic he is and the way he gets to his shots, which I think with time and added practice and usage, you're going to see his development of using his athleticism even more proficiently, which is actually scary to think about. So
now we're on to Sacramento. And there are different ways we can go because Sacramento to me is a blank slate now. You're not worried about drafting over anybody. You're just worried purely about the future.
Talent. You want talent.
Your young talent. Keegan Murray is not that young anymore. He's also on his second contract at this point. At the draft, he's starting his second contract. I think you probably are okay if you find a good deal, you move off of him. But Caleb Wilson fits with Keegan Murray if you want to play both of them.
I agree.
They can fit. Now that being said, Mikal Brown also fits with Keegan Murray if that's the one dude you want to keep in the future.
Right.
You got Keegan Murray, you got Keon Ellis, you got Devin Carter.
Which they said those guys.
Maxime Renaud, I think, so to me, Maxime could definitely be part of the future. I don't know that he's a for sure starter in the league, but I just really feel like there's definitely a backup big spot for him in the league long term. So to me, Caleb doesn't double up any of those, doesn't make any fit issues with any of them. You wish he could shoot better. Brown, there's no fit issues. Flemings, there's no fit issues. And Koa Pete is the other one in this. Now, I do think that it's maybe a little, to me, defensively, there's no problem with playing Keegan and Koa together. And Keegan does shoot well enough that I don't think you're worried about Koa's lack of aggression shooting.
Right.
So you could go with any of those guys, which, is 4 through 7 on my board. I guess 1 through 4 now, since the top 3 are gone. I do think I'm going with Caleb Wilson. I'm really close to having him in a tier of his own. The thing that is worrying about me is, so I have been told that the Cerebro stats are not accurate on him, and
right.
So that his field goal percentage was higher than Cerebro says. However, if you take out his dunks, he's shooting like 37% this year from the field if you take out his dunks. And so that is a little bit of a worry. That being said, the dude dunks all the time. So I don't know why you would have to take out the dunks because
that's how he gets his buckets. Right.
Exactly. That's like saying, if you take out Derek Lively's dunks, that's what he does is he dunks. So, and I'm not saying that he's as offensively limited as Derek Lively. He has more offense. But I'm just saying if you're just taking out his number one dunk or his number one shot type, if you take out Steph Curry's threes, he's going to be less efficient.
It's part of the appeal to his game.
Yes. So I do think that the offense Caleb. Is a little bit of a worry. Yeah, I am going Caleb. And my comp is pretty fair. People are questioning my comp. My comp for him is Evan Mobley. I'm not mad at that. And people are questioning Evan Mobley. Okay, so you've never made that offensive leap that we were hoping you would make. But Evan Mobley is a gifted passer for that size. He is
gifted shooter.
Well, kind of.
For what we thought he was going to be, and
he can kind of handle the ball a little bit. He can do a lot on offense, but it doesn't really lead to scoring as much as you would expect it to do. And then he's a defensive player of the year. This is what Caleb Wilson is he's that level of defensive prospect as Evan Mobley.
Right.
The offense is rough, but I still think he's that level of defensive prospect that you just accept it. And so that's where I'm at with him. I'm going to definitely take him as the guy.
So ironically, this was not. I was thinking about it as you were talking about Wilson, and I wasn't sure if I would go this direction, but I actually feel confident in it now because of what I see from Brooklyn. I could absolutely see them taking Nate Ahmed.
Oh, okay.
I could see them going Nate Ahmed. Size, shooting, athleticism. They have young guards that they're developing, and so he won't need to do all of the ball handling per se.
The guards is what makes Brown and Flemings less appealing. Yeah,
right. Sure. So I think they go Nate Ahmed at 5. If I have to.
So I'm a little. I have Ahmed lower on my board. That being said, I do think that there is a lot that he does well. I think he's. We've talked about it when we did our deep dive on him. I think he's a higher floor prospect more than a high ceiling prospect. And a lot of people are talking about him like he's a high ceiling prospect. And the floor is just way more interesting to me than his ceiling because I just don't think he's going to hit a ceiling. But the floor is still pretty stinking good to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do think that he, Brooklyn, he's raw. And everybody on Brooklyn is raw.
Yeah.
So like, it does kind of make a little sense. I think also, I don't think he's a black hole on offense. No. Like as far as like, he's not Michael Porter Jr. since we're talking about Brooklyn, where he only shoots. But I do think that he could do a little bit of taking some Michael Porter Jr. aspects into his game, such as the way that MPJ is more willing to work off ball than a Mint. I think if he would pick up some of those things from MPJ, that would be good for him long run.
I agree.
So
the fluidity in scoring, the ability to get his shots, the ability to counter a defense and get your shot are all ways if they decide that they're going to keep MPJ long term.
Now we get to Charlotte. And this is where the obvious answer, the guy I'm supposed to take, is Mikal Brown Jr.
Yes.
That's the guy I'm supposed to take.
Yes, I agree.
However. Are we just admitting that this team is Khan's team? And we are building around Khan?
I have a consensus that they're moving towards him being their guy. They haven't stamped it yet, but I can see where it's trending. If I had, like, truthfully, the way that the season's playing out for them, his ability, and granted, some people will say rookie year, not on the scouting report as much, we'll see what he looks like in year 2. I'm sure that there are people who are holding the reservations. However, I do think with his talent emerging, I would be hard pressed to say that they aren't shifting their focus to him being their guy.
Okay. So if we're accepting that Khan is the dude, and we're not factoring in LaMelo as much. You've already got Brandon Williams, or Brandon Miller. So you've got your bigger guy.
Hopefully
you got your wing. You've got Khan, one of your guards. You don't really have anything else locked in. So you could use another forward, which could be Koa Pete, or you could get your other guard next to Khan. And this is what is intriguing to me. I think I want Kingston Flemings to be the guy next to Khan.
He comes back again.
Can you imagine having to, because Khan's issue on defense is that he doesn't have the athleticism to guard point of attack.
Right.
He is, fundamentally pretty sound. He's not getting, destroyed. If you make it to where your other guy who is helping Khan out is Flemings, that helps Khan so much on defense that suddenly he's so much better on offense. And also, Fleming is pretty good on, Flemings is pretty stinging good on offense himself. So I think that's what I'm doing. I think I'm going, I can't believe how much I like Mikal Brown, to skip over him for someone at his position is surprising, but I feel like that fit is too hard to pass.
I'm not mad at that.
And so now you have the pick that to me is disgusting. This is Moritz Elder. It's Oklahoma City
game.
This is elder abuse at this point, the way that they have treated the Clippers.
This is what happens when you trade away a generational talent, future generational talent. You mortgage the future on a player that you end up moving on from, and
So this is Oklahoma City.
Control no picks for the next.
This is Oklahoma City via Los Angeles Clippers.
Correct, and they can go anywhere with
Yep.
this. Number one, so I'll put
Mhm.
that out there first. Number two, they're not going to pick a guard, so let's get that out of the way. I'm going to help you all see that they're not going guard here. So my pick is two-way, and he's kind of a guard, but I would be pressed if I didn't. They could go. This is hard, man.
There's
really
so many options.
So I'll start this way. They could go Advalas, right? So they could go that way.
He fits their kind of mold of guys that they do like to swing on.
Right. So there's him. They could also go Kareem Lopez, possibly.
Yeah.
They decide to go European again.
I would be surprised if they went that high.
Right.
For Lopez.
Right.
Because they got like 17 other picks they could go for Lopez.
They could also go Yesufu. Athleticism, motor, some of that others. His defensive energy, like team first, defense first. He doesn't have to be the offensive focus at all on this team. He can strictly be the guy who comes in and plays tenacious defense. And that's also being said for the other guy in Jaden Quaitance.
That's who I think I might go with if I was OKC. Because they've already shown that they're willing to be patient with these rookies, obviously, because they're awesome. And so I feel like Quaitance, you put him in eventually him and Bam, that's a scary front court defensively. If you can get him and Bam, or him and him and Chet together. That's such a scary front court. Where sorry, I was looking at my notes where I have Quaintance's comp as Bam ? And so that's why I said Bam. But you put Quaitance and Chet together. I just think that's a very scary defensive front court.
And I'm inclined to agree with you.
Is that who you're choosing?
Yes. Yeah. That's why I finished with him. I believe that's really the kind of like the pivot to who I believe they would likely go with.
Holy cow. It's the Dallas Mavericks. They have this pick via Nico. And so we need a point guard. Look who's left. I did not do this on purpose. My target was going to be Flemings, but then the Hornets,
let's snatch him up. Yep.
Doing it. I cannot believe Brown is still here. I mean, obviously, it's kind of hard to think of a more perfect guy that you would want in Dallas right now. I know that Ryan Nembhard is, basically the GOAT now. But even if you do have Nembhard, you do need more guards in the future. You could look at the only other guy I have a tier right now of people left, and to me it is Brown and Koa Pete. Koa does not fit in Dallas. We have too many picks.
If I may, I thought you were going to go Caden Boozer.
Make some arguments for other people.
I thought you were going to go Caden Boozer.
Caden. Yeah, so I've dropped Caden down just because I think that he's probably not coming out this year. He's not starting at Duke. I think I've started to drop him down. I haven't taken him completely off of my list like I have with some of the other freshmen, but so I am looking at with this. I think I'm going to go. I mean, it's Brown. You could make an argument. Kyrie's still here. If we are not pivoting into a full rebuild and we're just going to see this year out, then I do think that this is interesting to me. I do think that I would do, Mikal Brown. That's what I'm doing.
I agree with that. I believe we have OKC again
via Utah.
Sam Presti's a villain mastermind. So here's where it gets interesting again.
Because then you have all the guys you just mentioned.
They can go any direction that they want from here. And I actually, as weird as this sounds, I said they weren't going to pick any guards, but I could actually, you know what? I see them going Hugo Fair, Baccarat.
Oh, I actually have not scouted him yet. He's
I
all
have
the way
him
down
going.
in my. That's interesting. So why don't you vamp on him for a little bit, because I actually don't have any. I don't even have any notes on him. I haven't scouted him yet.
6'11", quick first step. He is 183 pounds at that height, which means he has body to fill in over time. Doesn't have the best handle, however, he's got a lot of finesse for his height. Can put the ball on the floor and drive. Does shoot the ball well, and occasionally can be pushed off on spots. So I do think he needs to improve in strength. Does not have a reliable post game at the moment, but his touch makes up for it.
Mhm.
He can hit the three. Jumper's a little unorthodox. Can be a little bit better. His playmaking isn't bad. He's not a primary playmaker. And I do think he can improve in traffic as far as playmaking. Does play good defense, a good weak side blocker. And he does rebound well for what he can. And I think he's mostly using athleticism at the moment. It's unable to impose strength at this time. Just exceptionally skilled offensively. I'm sure somebody will pencil him in as a big. To me, he is a small forward, power forward. So he's more of a forward than he is a big man. And his motor is the motor is there from finesse and skill. But I do think that in adding more strength, we could see him put himself in some very scary conversations. If he's able to continue to like add more strength, more like physicality, adding to his physicals. But he's tough. I actually could see them going that route because he fits the mold for them. So I have him.
So now we have the issue. I've got Memphis. I don't think you're worried about drafting over anybody in Memphis. I think you're hitting a reset. You're hitting a reset at this point. I kind of don't expect Jaren to stay there. I don't expect Ja to still be there. No. Obviously, Ja's not good enough that you care anymore about drafting over him. I don't think you really worry. He has the off court stuff has caught up to his on court now, and so he's now just not who he was. And calling Klay Thompson a bum while you're sitting in street clothes,
yeah, kind of a questionable decision there.
Yeah. So if you want to go guard, the guard to me, the obvious guard is Acuff from Arkansas. That's the obvious guard.
I like
if you're going to go guard. I do have Koa Pete as better than Acuff. My only issue is the one guy that I kind of like that I think I would keep for sure. If I'm Memphis, is Edey. And I don't know how Koa and Edey coexist.
I get it.
I mean, obviously you're keeping Coward, you're keeping the young guys.
You're rebuilding your core.
But I'm keeping Edey. And so there, the one guy I'm worried about with fit is Edey. Because Coward's going to fit with anybody. Yeah. So as much as I think Koa is a better player than Acuff, the fit is harder.
Yes.
And so I think I'm going to do Acuff.
Okay. I'm not mad at that at all. I think that's a sound pick. He is a interesting pivot where he's a different kind of athleticism from the point guard position. And with that, you're getting a different dynamic. He does play defense. He is solid at his height, 6'2", which is intriguing to me. I think pretty strong
he's
guy.
Also just he's a really good scorer. He's a really good passer. He's obviously he and Thomas have been kind of awesome. Obviously, I'm an Arkansas fan, so they've been pretty awesome. It's been a lot of fun.
Now, would you be
Which is why because I'm an Arkansas fan, is why I did not mention the Mikel Brown dunk during the Mikel Brown section. So, I still cannot believe Brazel stood back up after that. I thought when he went down, I thought he died. So yeah. Have you seen that dunk?
I have.
Yeah. I mean, I really thought he died.
What I was going to say is, if not Acuff,
Mm-hmm.
would you be interested if I said Dash Daniels?
No, but I'm lower on Dash than a lot of people.
Which is fair.
The other guy would be Valdez. Would be the one I would look at as another guard. And I was still pretty close to just doing Koa over. So, because to me, Koa Pete is a good player.
Yeah, for sure.
He has a little bit of flaws that you need to work on. But I kind of think I'm about to get to a place where I might just bite him.
So you went Acuff, and that brings me to Portland, which I believe, actually, I think they go Nicolas.
Nicolas, yeah.
I think they go Nicolas.
That's an interesting fit with him and Denny together. I think that they're a good fit together.
I agree.
I also think that Portland defensively can kind of cover up for some of Nicolas's not necessarily deficit there, but he's just not the strongest defender.
Right.
But with his size, you can just shift him around and hide him a lot easier. He's like Luka. You can hide Luka, even though Luka, to me, all of his defense stuff is way overblown. He's not actually that bad of a defender, but you can hide him on the work. That's the difference between like Luka and other people who are considered, bad defenders.
You're right.
Is, a lot of guards can't be hidden on a forward. So you can hide Luka on, when they played OKC, Luka had to guard Dort instead of having to guard Shea, or, you could guard Isaiah Joe out on the perimeter instead of having to guard Jalen Williams. So he's a lot easier to slot and hide and find different places. So I think Nico is the same idea. You can, with his height, you can shift him around, move him certain places.
And there was 4. Now there are 4. So who do you have going to Chicago?
So Chicago is hard. I think. So this is, if we're not doing Koa, because again, I think I'm pretty close to just saying Koa. The problem is you already have Giddey, who's not the strongest shooter.
No.
And then you're maybe moving off of Kobe White. It seems like White is not part of the future. So you're taking out another shooter. So that's interesting. Matas is not a super good shooter.
No. Man. I actually, this is your pick, but I have somebody I think fits.
So yeah, sell me on some other people. Because the fit is very, I could see Chicago doing Koa, but I also could see it not working out there. They also just did Essengay, which I know that he's out for the season. I don't know that they want to draft over Essengay and Matas with the forward.
Right. I could see them going Cynic Jr.
Okay. Yeah.
They want to go younger at center.
Mm-hmm.
And this gives them an opportunity to get that position filled. I don't think it's a bad pick at the spot that they're at.
Because I was thinking big. That's not the big I was thinking, but I was thinking big. And I'm thinking the other guy who I'm wondering about, and I'm thinking that Sinek and Heinz Steinbach are going to get compared to each other. I think they're the guy. So Sinek is supposed to be a better defender. He's not right now. But potential is supposed to be he's a better defender. And I'm not saying that Steinbach is like a good defender at all. I'm just saying that's how bad, like Sinek, like Samson does not seem very happy with him right now. So Steinbach to me does seem to be kind of where I'm leaning. I'm also wondering, there's a lot of, you know what? I think they need scoring more than they need anything specific.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually going to go a completely different direction.
Okay.
I'm going Townday here. Get them, a big scoring guard wing-ish guy who can fit in next to Giddey, shoot a little bit, plays pretty good defense so far. So yeah, I'm going to go with Townday.
Okay. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So now we're on to Milwaukee,
who also has been in some news as of late.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you went Tunde.
Yeah. Yes.
For Chicago. For Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now there are three. Milwaukee is intriguing to me, and it's intriguing to me on several fronts.
Yes.
Number one, while I like Ryan Hollins, who's emerged as a solid pickup for them, and has rounded out his game. Has continued to round out his game. I could also still see them drafting a point guard.
Well, I also think Hollins is a 2. Can be a 2 guard, as well,
right?
Yeah, like Hollins doesn't have to be the point guard. He can be either. He can play off ball too.
I could also see them pivoting the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
One, I think they could go Sonata Frew as an option.
I also have not scouted him, but he's on my list of guys next up.
Good size, a little bit older as a prospect. The age is probably going to work against his draft stock. However, I could see them going that direction, especially because the Bucks don't have picks. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So now, I don't know.
In my opinion, if you're going with a point guard prospect,
right?
To me, it's really hard to pass on Phylon.
Oh yeah, they could go Phylon. I think that's intriguing.
I think this would be another place where we brought up Dash Daniels before.
Could go Koa Pete here.
Christian Anderson is another option here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is a Koa Pete spot. I know that Koa and Giannis is a weird fit, but apparently you might have to be drafting for future without Giannis. So.
And I could also see them not going point guard.
Yes.
And going Dame Sarr.
I'm kind of surprised you haven't drafted as much as you like Sarr. I'm surprised you didn't draft him already.
I don't think he drops out of the top 20.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with the talent on the board, and the way he's being utilized might shift where he gets drafted. Mm-hmm. So if I had to pick, if I'm a picking man, someone will say there's likely a better prospect than him on the board. I agree. Mm-hmm. But just because of what I believe the Bucks have as their philosophy and players that they draft, I believe Dame Sarr could go here.
Okay.
I could see that. I could see it. Or either Senick Jr. or Dame Sarr. So that's kind of where I am with that.
So I'm putting Dame Sarr in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I do like that fit. I think that's a good fit. Before I give this next one, are we going to just go ahead and do the first round, because the whole first round, because we're kind of going through these picks faster than I thought we would? Or do you still want to stop after this pick?
We can stop at 15, and then we'll work on 16 down next pod.
Oh, I thought we would just stop at lottery. So stop with this 14 would be the last.
Oh, 14. You want to stop at 14? I was okay with 15 where it's on the fringe, and that leaves us 16 to 16.
Well, that lets us prepare for post lottery life. Because I think then you have to really start taking team fit into account a whole lot more.
Exactly.
Because obviously OKC, this is OKC via Philly, which this one's pretty clearly. Was this Al Horford? Right? They took Al Horford on to get this pick. Is that what it was? Yeah.
Boy, do they plan for the future.
Yeah. Because they're going to get Koa Pete. And
right there,
like to me, Koa Pete. If there's a team who could figure out how to make him work, it's him. I mean, they figured out how to work with Jeremy Grant for so long, which is one of his main comps is Jeremy Grant. They have figured out how to make it work with other guys. They're going to make him learn to shoot. And to me, I don't think Koa, because he has touch everywhere else. I don't think he can't shoot. I think he just doesn't shoot threes. And so I think that it's going to come eventually with him. So they got Chip England in OKC. If there's anybody who says with confidence, we're going to be able to overcome you, we're going to teach you to shoot. If anybody can say with confidence, we're going to teach you to shoot, it's OKC. I'm very clearly happy with this. Like, I think he is perfectly the guy there that he's clearly the top guy on the board. He's I've cleared out the whole tier under him. So it's a 2-tier drop for me to get anybody else. So Koa Pete it is.
So here's what's interesting to me. The next pick with Golden State.
Yeah, that's where things get very interesting because Golden State can go in an awful lot of different directions.
They can. And here's where I am on
hot take, this won't be their pick.
They could move it. However, while I do think they have athleticism at the big position, I think they go talent for big at this position. So, they go Chris Senick Jr. That's A. Or they don't go his direction, and they go. Hold on, just a moment. Let me see here. Or they go Sonata Frew here. Both guys seem like
counterpoint
to me.
Counterpoint. Someone even more Golden State. Yaxel Littenborg.
I could see it. I could fully see it.
I have thought about Yaxel like 7 or 8 times during this lottery. And it's just, the age is a thing, but obviously, Golden State's not going to worry too much about the age. I kind of think that he would be an excellent fit in Golden State. Also think Steinbach would be a good fit here as well. If we're talking about bigs, JT Toppin would be incredible in Golden State. Alex Condon would be really good. If they're going more long-term, if they're thinking towards the future, then you're looking at Magoon Gawath would be great. Ade Mara. This is probably a little early to draft Mara, I think. Probably a little early to draft Flory, Bidiyunga. So I think that's, we're a little early for those other guys, but if they're going big, I think to me, clearly, I have Steinbach in that tier, but I do feel like if we're going big, it's in OKC specifically, or Golden State specifically, I really feel like Yaxel is really hard to pass up.
And I am inclined to agree with you, even though I do think they still go Senick. I think they go Senick Jr.
I think it would have to be those two. I think it's going to be one between those two.
I mean, age-wise, they're not going to worry about it. So let's do it this way. I'll put Senick Jr. here.
Okay.
But also Yaxel here as well.
Well, you can't do that because I'm going to draft Yaxel with a blamer if you do that. If you take Senick. So
okay, so I'll go Senick Jr. I think they go Senick Jr. Where they don't make the same mistake.
I guess I spoiled the first pick for next. for the next pod.
Man. I mean, I think we put together an interesting board where you're taking best player available and also what each team's philosophy takes into consideration. And how teams have looked in the last 5 to 10 years of how they decide they want to draft talent and what their philosophy is on team fit. So this is part 1 of our mock draft. We're going to work on the second part of the first round. And I think at some point we may touch a little bit of the second round, not too much of it, because I think that's a conversation for deeper down in the season.
Yeah, this is too early to do second round.
Right. But y'all look out for part 2. We're gonna knock out where I think we're gonna be a little more, I want to say a little bit more conservative, because this is more team fit from 16 down, and what is going to really, they're going to take best player available, yes, but they're also going to make considerations about what players they feel would best fit them. And just if it's okay, we can name them off. So it'll be San Antonio via Atlanta, Atlanta via Cleveland at 17, Boston at 18. 19 is Memphis via Orlando out of the Desmond Bain trade. 20 is Charlotte via Phoenix. 21 is Minnesota. Then Miami at 22. 23 is New York. 24 is Toronto. 25 is Denver. I think that one's going to be interesting. Yes. 26, Cleveland versus via San Antonio. 27, OKC again.
And we're not done.
Via Houston. 28, Lakers. 29, Detroit. And then 30, Washington via OKC, which is crazy. They're sending a pick back. But that's 30. So we're going to touch on those teams and what players they would best want, or what we believe they'll likely try to acquire.
And doesn't OKC have like 3 or 4 second rounders as well?
And they do. And I do think they either move off on them.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have to move off a lot of them because they can't roster that many rookies.
And and just to throw this out about OKC again, Sorber still hasn't played, so keep that in mind.
And neither has Topic.
Keep that in mind when you look at OKC and a lot of these picks. They could either keep them or they can move off them to get either future draft picks, which they own quite a bit already, or they pivot and are adding a player that bolsters their title chances. Yeah. So
I think also they could look to shed salary with some of these picks too.
And they have some guys that they maybe want to re-sign even on their roster as we speak. Talented guys that I think they still get. They can trade if they decide to, because they are not deficient of talent. Yeah. At any rate, Jordan, it's been fun working through 1 through 15. I'm excited for us to do part 2. Thanks for all of you who hopped on and watched with us. We're going to continue to try to put good analysis and content for you. See you guys on the next one. Peace.